We got a new manager, and welcome to a brand new edition of Swansea Beat. Yes, everyone, we do have a new manager in Swansea City Football Club. Welcome back to a brand new edition of Swansea Beat. And we have a new manager, and his name is Carvalhal. And in this video, we're just going to quickly explain a little bit about him if you don't know who he is, because I saw the comment section of the Swans page and people were like, who? What's his play style? So I've done a little bit of research and we're just going to go over some stuff. Yeah, let's get right into this. So who is Carvalhal? He is a former player. He's a 52-year-old man at the moment, obviously not playing now, 52 years old. Yeah, he's a 52-year-old man. Yeah, he played a centre-back when he was younger, so maybe he's a defensive-minded coach. We'll go into that a bit later. Yeah, and he's managed many clubs during this time, mostly from Portugal, a bit of Greece, a bit of Turkey, a bit of England. Now, obviously, he's with us at the Swans in the Premier League. So I just want to quickly highlight the three, I'd say, biggest clubs he has managed, and they're quite short-term, two of the clubs, but we'll go into them as that's what he'll be recognised for anyways. So, the three big clubs. Well, the first one is Sporting Lisbon in Portugal. So let me just explain about his time in Sporting Lisbon. It wasn't very long, it was only a 6-month contract. He arrived late November and played out a short-term contract. He played 33 matches, well, managed 33 matches, and they averaged around 1.67 points. But they did end 28 points behind Benfica and ended 4th in the league, but I think that was due to the players and not really his play style, as the manager before was quite terrible and they were really behind at the first place. So the next club he was at, next big club he was at was Besiktas. He played out a year contract, exactly a year. He averaged 1.6 points a game in 47 matches. They had different amounts of results each time. It was very different, like obviously in the Champions League and the Europa League they didn't do very well. They weren't performing. And yeah, I think at least he kept his job until the end of his contract. That was the main thing. But yeah, so let's talk about his next adventure. So after Besiktas, he was actually out of work for 3 years. He didn't do anything, but then he came into Sheffield Wednesday. So this is where we'll mostly know him from, as he literally just left that job, well, got sacked or left by mutual consent on Christmas Eve. During his time there, I think it was like 3 years he was there, he got them to the playoffs twice, but obviously never succeeded with them. They lost to Huddersfield on penalties, I believe, last year. And yeah, and the reason he got sacked was basically no wins in 7 games. They had 4 draws in a row. Then in the last 3 games, he lost all 3 in a row. And for a club like Sheffield Wednesday, with a decent strike force that they have and a good midfield, they have an all-round team that should be, playing to get promoted. And yeah, they're 14th in the table with 24 games played and only 30 points, which isn't good enough for Sheffield Wednesday. They are a big club and they have available funds, and he wasn't delivering there. So what we're just going to get into right now is the tactics, or what formation he likes to play, because this could be crucial for the Swans. So his tactics at Sheffield Wednesday differed, but the one pattern I started to notice, he does like to play like a 4-4-2 formation or 4-2-2. Usually, sometimes 2 holding midfielders and 2 either left mid or right mid, or 2 cams and then 2 strikers, or 4-4-2 flat, which I usually found in some of the games as well. In the last game he played, which was Middlesbrough, which he lost 2-1. I believe he played the 4-2-3-1 formation in the game before 4-4-2, but obviously they lost both of those games. And the last win he had against Aston Villa, which was a 4-4-2 flat as well, so I don't know if he'll suit Swans, but hey, I'm up for any change at the moment, as we are sucking terribly. And at Besiktas, he played a different formation. I think every club he's gone into, he's tried to do something different. Besiktas, he played a 4-3-3 attack, which Swans can transition into, but that means, where does that leave like a holding mid like Mesa? Where does that leave a Britain? Where does that leave some of our good players? But for that, we need a cam, which is something we desperately need in January. We need some sort of creative source, because we literally have no good creators at the moment and no good finishers to actually do anything. So that's why we are bottom of the table at the moment. So 4-3-3 attack I don't think he'll go for, but that is something he did at Besiktas and it sort of worked, I guess. At Sporting Lisbon he played a 4-4-2 diamond, so that means obviously one holding mid and a left mid, right mid and a cam and then 2 strikers. Again, no, we need wingers, we need a cam, because I feel like Narsing is great, he needs to be playing more often, but Adaya, I don't think he can keep up with the pace of every single game being played. Yeah, I just don't see Dyer playing every game. I don't want Routledge to play every game because it's awful. So wingers is definitely needed in January if he is going to go for that sort of formation. So he came in late last night, he travelled in and he took today's training session this morning. I've heard little insiders from online and a few friends saying apparently flaws have already been discovered. Well, I think fans knew that was blatantly obvious anyways. And apparently wingers are in mind for him already, which is a good sign because we do need some pace going forward and some creative sources going in. But the transfer window is something that really needs to be concentrated on because it's coming up now next week. You know, on New Year's Day, the transfer window opens, and I feel like business will start as soon as the clock hits midnight on New Year's Eve. So I feel it's going to be hard, but the good thing is maybe as he's been around a bit, you know, different countries, maybe he has a few potential different links. Like we come back to earlier when I said he's maybe a defensive-minded coach because he was a centre-back when he was a player. Maybe he has a few links with the different centre-backs, I'm not sure, but hopefully that is true because we have heard rumours of Mawson leaving, and honestly I think that's getting more and more likely now as probably Mawson is thinking himself that we are most likely to go down, which is sad to think really, and he's probably thinking, well, I'm a good player, I want to stay in the Premier League, so let's just move somewhere where I know I'll be staying up, which is West Ham United. Yeah, so let's just hope Mawson stays, but even if he doesn't, maybe Carvalhal can bring in a new centre-back and maybe a new full-backs as well, which is something we need. I think Norton isn't up to scratch at the moment, so maybe giving him some competition will make him step up his game. Another few links, maybe as he managed Sheffield Wednesday, maybe he has some links with Championship players. I'm not really a fan of getting Championship players in, but if he gets the top ones in and he thinks they'll work, then we have to support him in that decision. But another thing, will he even be allowed to scout, or will all the transfers be down to Hugh Jenkins again? So, you know, Hugh, we all know he's had a few in mind, like, you know, I think Chadley was probably Hugh's choice and some other players as well, like, you know, I think maybe Jonathan Vieira was Clements, but I can see Hugh going after some mediocre players, £5 million players, just to save money. But hopefully Hugh is hoping that we stay up and actually gives some funds to Carvalhal. Yeah, let's just hope for the best. As Swans fans, we need to be supportive in this time. Yes, I know he's not the greatest of choices. We were all like saying, oh, Pulis, you know, or Sam but just before he went to Everton. And we were just asking for big names, and then we just got this guy who is a Championship player. For all those people saying he's a cheap manager, you know, Sheffield Wednesday are a decently wealthy club, and I feel like why, you know, we had Bob Bradley. It can't get any worse than that. So I feel like just give this guy a chance. He's coming into a job where most managers probably feel like they wouldn't want to come into the job because it's almost impossible to stay up. You know, we are on 12 points. With 19 games gone, so it's a daunting task. So let's just get behind him. Let's get behind the team. Let's hope the players feel better. You know, maybe the morale has gone up. A new manager has come in, and yeah, let's just hope for the best. Come on, Carlos. Welcome to the club. Let's get some points. Let's look forward to the Watford game coming up soon, and yeah, let's go Swans.